Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is SJP, the host of the SJP Files. Have you heard about Anchor? If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. It's free. There are creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. Once again, download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. Ladies and gentlemen, hello. This is SJP, host of the SJP Files Podcast. And today is a very special day because I kind of just came up with this idea. So essentially what I'm going to be doing on Anchor here, back on Anchor for the first time, and I want to say like 2 months, but back on Anchor, essentially what we're going to be doing is I'm splitting off into essentially 2 podcasts. The Technical File Podcast, which is going to be here on Anchor for all you loyal listeners, and on Spreaker is going to be the main show, the SJP Files. Now, the Technical File Podcast is very, very simple show. Very simple. Sports topics from all over the world. And mostly American sports topic, but I'll hit some soccer. I'll hit, maybe some tennis. But this is going to be all feelings, no facts show. No facts, no research, nothing. Just off the cuff, an immediate what the hell just happened? What the hell did I just see? No research, no statistics. Well, some statistics because I'm a nerd in general, so you're gonna hear that stuff, but just straight emotion, just straight, hot takes, essentially takes that, if you were on a podcast with a couple other hosts, they'd be like, are you bugging? This is that show. This is just raw emotion that you're gonna hear me recording whenever something crazy happens. And I do the SJP Files podcast once a week, once maybe twice a week, but generally I do it once a week. This show is meant to take place in the days in between the week when big things happen and I just need to react. This is an instant reaction show. Now, for those of you who stayed here on Anchor and didn't quite follow me to Spreaker, you can find me on Spreaker for the main show of the SJP Files podcast. If not, once again, you can find me on the main show on Spreaker. If you like what I'm doing, if you like what I'm saying, if you don't like what I'm saying, hit like, subscribe, share, help me grow the show to new heights, because we're buzzing around about 200 listens overall through, I'm gonna say like about 40 episodes, give or take, about 200 listens over 40 episodes. So that's good. That's a good start. And this is and I'm doing this completely, blind. I just, put the show up, didn't do much promotion, which is a mistake on my point, but that's not what I'm going to be doing for the Technical File Podcast. Technical File Podcast is essentially going to start on the first episode of the Technical File Podcast is going to be Sunday, June 4th is what I'm eyeing right now. June 4th is what I'm eyeing for the first episode of the Technical File Podcast. Once again, like, subscribe, share. You can find me on Spreaker. You can find me on almost anything. The SJP Files Podcast. I also do a movie edition of the show. I haven't done an episode in a couple months because I haven't seen a movie that has really piqued my interest to warrant me really going in depth and breaking it down like that. Black Widow will most likely be that first show, that first movie that I do for the next episode of the movie edition of the SJP Files podcast. I might just shorten it to the movie edition and just put SJP Files in like the not the comment section, but put SJP Files in like the description of the show. Once again, this is the Technical Files podcast. Like, subscribe, listen, let me know how you feel. You can find me on YouTube at the SJP Chronicles. I also have an SJP Files clip channel that I do almost nothing with, so you can't really find me there, but you can find me in the comments of the SJP Files episodes on YouTube, the SJP Files Chronicle. You find me on Facebook, Twitter. Just essentially type in SJP on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Pretty much that's the social medias that I'm on. I'm not on TikTok. I'm not. TikTok is like the generation right after me. And that's for like Gen Zers. I'm a millennial. That's who I am. But once again, this is the Technical File Podcast. I hope you enjoy it, because there's one take I want to get out, but we're going to do some promotion. I'm going to do some promotion on the SJP Files Podcast before I really get into the Technical File Podcast. But a quick shout out to the SJP Files Podcast, which will be going up, which I will most likely be doing the next episode either tomorrow or Wednesday, most likely Wednesday. Once again, you can find me on Spreaker, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon. There are a couple other sites that I just don't remember at the present moment. Give me a second. Let me check my distribution. Let me see basic information. Let's go. Where's my dashboard? Auto share. There it is, distribution. Like I said, you can find me on Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, Desert, Podcast Addict, Podcast Chaser, and what is that? Geo Savan? I've never heard of that one, but that's where you can find the SJP File Podcast. That's where you can find all my shows. So once again, this is the Technical Files Podcast Speed. Technical File Podcast feed. Once again, I am SJP, host of the SJP Files. Hope to catch you listening.